Hey everyone and welcome. I'm Travis Morin, an enterprise fulfillment consultant from ShipMonk, and I'm thrilled you're joining me today. If you're a growing omni-channel merchant looking to level up your fulfillment, you're in the right place. At ShipMonk, we're not just another 3PL. We're your growth partner. We understand that logistics can be a headache, holding you back from focusing on what you do best, building your brand. That's why we've built a cutting-edge platform that powers our state-of-the-art fulfillment centers. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into ShipMonk's platform and show you exactly how we can help you streamline your operations, from the moment the order clicks to when it lands on your customer's doorstep and everything in between. We'll be covering key areas like our intuitive dashboard, efficient receiving, inventory management workflows, and our robust order management system. You can check out the full rundown in the timeline below. So let's buckle up and get started to see how ShipMonk can take the stress out of fulfillment and help your business scale. Now, before we dive too deep into the platform, one thing you'll learn about me is that I'm really big into metaphors and analogies. And when talking about software for 3PLs and ShipMonk in particular, I always equate it to an iceberg. When you see an iceberg in the ocean, 10% of that iceberg is on the surface, the other 90% is underneath the surface. Now, whatever happens to that 10% of the iceberg on top of the water, whether it's hot or cold, is going to directly affect the other 90% beneath the surface. It's the same thing when you think about ShipMonk software. Whatever our brands do in the 10% of their account, it's going to affect the other 90%, which is our warehouse floor and how we're receiving those things into our system, how we're picking your products, selecting which packaging type, or what method it was shipped by. They all work seamlessly together. We're going to start with the dashboard. What the dashboard is doing is compiling everything that's going on in the platform and putting it on one easy digestible page for you to review while you're drinking your coffee in the morning, coming back from lunch, or you just want to check to see what's going on with the business. As you can see here from left to right, we have total revenue, total orders shipped, and total items shipped, and a revenue breakdown on the right side of the screen. Then a heat map of where your orders are going, both domestically and internationally, so you can stay in tune with where your customers are located. Now, this section of the dashboard is customizable to any date range that you have in mind, whether it be today, yesterday, last week, the last 30, last 90 days, or any custom date range that's relevant to your business. Continuing on the dashboard, the next fields you'll see is your orders shipped and forecasted report. At ShipMonk, we have over 11 locations in our network spread throughout the United States and the globe, which are all owned and operated by us. So if you do have multiple facilities with us, you'd be able to transparently see a breakdown for what the expectations are and what's actually happening at those specific facilities. On the left, in the order forecast overview, you'll see what was forecasted for that day, what's been submitted for that day, what we picked as an overflow that day, and if we had any backlogged orders from the previous day. We want to make sure that we're aligned with your expectations throughout the year, and especially during big sales periods or anything else that's coming up on the horizon. I always say your relationship with your is like any relationship in life. It starts with clear communication and clear understanding, and this is one of the many ways we accomplish that. For the rest of the dashboard, you'll see overviews of billing, the order management system, returns, low stock inventory, out of stock inventory, and lastly on the dashboard, any expected inventory that's on the way. To kick the whole process off, you'd send us products. And what I'm going to do is show you how to create a receiving in our system step by step. There are a couple of ways that you can go through and create a receiving. You can either start the process by going to the drop-down, selecting Create Receiving here, or you can click into the tab as I've done and hit Create Receiving on the side. From there, we're going to want some basic information about the shipment. What facility is it going to? What type of category is it? When sending us product, it would classify as a purchase order /ASN. You could also see some of the different options that we have in receiving. For example, inventory transfer if we had a load balance across your nodes, and some of the other ones below. Next, you'll generate an advanced ship notification or ASN ensure. Anytime you send us something, whether it be one parcel or 100 pallets, we need to have a unique ASN number before it arrives at our facility. When creating these ASN numbers, we can auto-generate them for you, or you can create them yourselves as long as they're unique. Next, the supplier's name. so ShipMonk supplier in this case. When is it estimated to arrive at our facility? From there, how are we going to be handling these units? How is it showing up? Because handling a couple of boxes of inserts that show up is a lot different than handling a floor-loaded 53-foot container. And we want to ensure we understand how these shipments are arriving at our facility, or how many containers, so our team can be fully prepared to receive it quickly. And lastly on this page, the description, BOLs, or any other relevant documents that would assist our team in verifying the inventory and tracking number if applicable. If your receiving is over a certain size, it'll prompt you to create an appointment in our data docs. So you can log in and schedule those appointments to make sure that we have staff on site and ready to receive those ASNs into our system when they arrive. Once we've done that, then we'll go and upload our products. Now you can either go in and add your products one by one for what you're going to be sending to us, or you can go in and import your products via a CSV file to help cut down on time inputting those SKUs. The other way you can create a receiving in our system is done automatically through an ERP integration. If our merchants choose to set up their integration this way, once the purchase order has been placed in their system, it'll automatically generate a new receiving in ours. Now that the receiving's been created, we're going to go back to our receiving page. And receivings at ShipMonk will be tracked in a couple of different stages. The first stage is unprocessed. It's either a draft or awaiting. If something's in our awaiting status, it's because it hasn't shown up at our facility yet, and it's still in transit. Then we're going to have in progress. So these are all ASNs that have either arrived at the facility, but we haven't had a chance to process them. And once we do start receiving them, then they'll move to receiving in progress. And for our last status, we have received ASNs. When it comes to a received ASN, or any ASN in general, you can click into that ASN. At first, you'll see some of the basic information about the shipment, but then you can scroll down and see exactly what we received. Green is good. It means that we got exactly what we were expecting. Red means we didn't get what we were expecting, or any at all. And then yellow means that we got a surplus. So it's really easy for you and your team to log in and confirm we got what we were expecting to get. When it comes to inventory, we're tracking the stages of your inventory in a couple of different categories. The first category is inventory on hand. What can I walk back in the facility and see and put my hands on? The second is going to be available inventory. So it's free to be used on orders at that point in time. If it has been used for an order, it's now allocated for something and it'll transition to our allocated inventory. Then we have any quarantine inventory if we need to set things aside for defects or lot issues. Your expected inventory for what's on the way to our facility. And then you have your total inventory count based on the addition and subtraction of each of these fields. Now this view that you see here is the overall inventory that you'd have with ShipMonk across our network. If you want to drill into what this would look like at a specific building, there's a couple of ways to accomplish this. You can either click on a SKU and you can see what you have by location overall. You can either filter it out by warehouse location and see what you have in each specific warehouse. Or you can click into that SKU where you'll see the product level details that we have. And then you can click on inventory and you'll see exactly what you have by stage for each SKU. Again, it's very easy for yourself or the team to come into your inventory tab and ensure you know what's at each location. Staying on top of those inventory strategies as we're going through mapping. If you have any virtual bundles that SKU is associated with, you can go in and create new mappings on specific SKUs. You can also see who's ordering that specific SKU, when that SKU arrived at our warehouse, and what stage it's at for returns. So I always like to say it's easy if you want to come in here and spend 2 minutes figuring something out, or if you want to spend 2 hours drilling into something. You'll have the ease and the ability to do that. One thing that's also really great about our system is the little eyes you'll see throughout our platform. Logistics is guilty for having multiple terms all meaning the same thing. So as your team grows, or if you haven't had enough coffee that day, which is something I'm guilty of, and you forget things, these eyes will be a guide on what something means. Then, if that brief overview is still leaving you with some questions, you can click on that eye and it will link to a support document which has a full breakdown. Our order management system is primarily going to be broken out into 3 main categories. And those categories that you'll see here are going to be unfulfilled, fulfillment in progress, and fulfilled. Now, anytime an order is unfulfilled, you can do whatever you want to that order. You can go in there and change the products, customer information, and the shipping methods. Now at ShipMonk, we default to bringing in orders from unfulfilled to fulfillment in progress every 20 minutes. Or if you want, you can set up a custom delay for how often you sync these orders over so that your team has time to go in and make edits and changes prior to being too late. With unfulfilled, you'll have the various substages underneath. So you have back orders, unable to submit, queued to submit, subscription, on hold, and submitted. There's a running joke around here at ShipMonk that we scan air. And with all of the automation we have deployed and scanning throughout our process, you'll be able to see exactly what stage an order is at as it's flowing through the facility during the picking process. So you'll see pick in progress when somebody's out there picking the order. When it's on the way to the pack station, there's pack in progress. Once something's been packed, heading to our sorting, and then you'll see once it's been sorted for awaiting carrier pickup. Now, once that order has been picked up from the carriers, at that point in time, it'll transition from fulfillment in progress to fulfilled awaiting carrier processing. And then once it gets sorted at the carrier sorting facilities, you'll see the order will be en route. We want to ensure that our merchants have full visibility and insights to see exactly what's going on at the warehouse without actually being at the warehouse. To show you the level of visibility you'd see on any specific order, it'll be timestamped at each step of our picking process. We also have the customer information, shipping information, fulfillment fees, order summaries, and profit. Again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but there's a ton of transparency when it comes to orders for our merchants. One of our main goals is to enable our partners to be just as efficient in our platform as we are on the warehouse floor. We accomplish this by providing powerful tools that allow you to filter and edit orders with ease. Using our order management system, you can quickly narrow down a large volume of orders into a very targeted set by applying multiple filters. Whether you're looking at fulfillment status, SKU, shipping method, or customer-specific data, our filtering options let you zero in on exactly what you need in just a few clicks. Beyond filtering, you can also bulk edit orders. This is a huge time saver. No need to perform the same manual task over and over again. For example, if you're working within your back orders, you can bulk split orders that contain the SKU, or you can go in one by one depending on the situation. The point is, we've designed these tools so your team can move quickly, make smart operational decisions, and keep things flowing efficiently without unnecessary steps or wasted time. One of the biggest advantages of our platform is our transportation management system, or TMS, which works seamlessly alongside our OMS. At the core of that is ShipMonk's virtual or VCN. Our carrier agnostic VCN is designed to help reduce the risk of relying on a single carrier. It helps protect our partners from volatility in the shipping landscape, whether it's delays, surcharges, or capacity issues, by giving us flexibility in carrier selection. The VCN offers 3 primary service levels: ShipMonk 2-day, ShipMonk Standard 2 to 5 days, and ShipMonk Economy, which is 3 to 7 days. Here's how it works. Our brands choose the service level they want, 2-day, Standard, or Economy, and we select the optimal carrier within that method based on a number of factors to meet the delivery SLA. Some of the key factors that go into carrier selection include package size and weight, warehouse location based on our assignment logic, the ship to address, whether that's zone, residential, or commercial, any carrier surcharges, and even real-time capacity and performance data. If we detect issues like a sorting center experiencing delays, we'll proactively remove that carrier from the network temporarily so we're not funneling more volume into an already stressed system. Once their performance stabilizes, we can reintroduce them into the VCN. All of this is monitored in real time by our dedicated transportation team. They're constantly tracking carrier performance, SLAs, dwell times, transit times from our facilities to carrier sort centers, and overall capacity so we can ensure we're meeting your customers' delivery expectations as smoothly and reliably as possible. From your customer's perspective, there's no extra complexity. They'll simply receive a tracking number from the carrier selected, just like they would from any other brand. Additionally, we offer carrier overcharge protection, With all of the data we collect, we're able to audit and challenge unfair carrier adjustments on your behalf, making sure you only pay for what you should. Now, if for some reason a customer wants to return a product, which does happen sadly, it's very easy to create returns in ShipMonk's system. Or if you're working with a partner that auto-generates returns like Loop, these returns can also be created in our system seamlessly. To manually create a return in ShipMonk's platform, all you need to do is search the order number or the customer's name, and then click into that order. At the top, you'll see the Create Return section. Click that. From there, you'll enter the return information. You'll see an RMA number and a return status indicating that you're in the process of creating the return. You'll then select the facility the item is being returned to. That could be one of our warehouses or your own corporate headquarters, pretty much anywhere under the sun, depending on your preferences. Next, we'll ask, why is the customer returning the product? What happened? If the customer only wants to return a specific SKU, rather than the entire order, you can remove the other SKUs. At this point, you'll then see the original packaging dimensions and choose the shipping service you'd like to use to send the return back. For example, USPS Ground Advantage. Once that's done, just click Save and Create Label. The return will be generated and your customer will automatically receive an email with a printable shipping label. From there, the return moves into our return section within the system, where you have full visibility. You can see returns that have been created, returns that are in progress as our team actively scans them in, and returns that have been fully received at our facility. All of this reflects the transparency and visibility we aim to provide to the brands we work with. Once the return arrives at our facility, we'll follow your instructions for how to process it, whether that's restocking, donating, or disposing of the item. We also apply whatever QC checks are necessary to ensure the return is handled appropriately. Unfortunately, working with ShipMonk does come with costs, and that brings us to the topic of billing, which is one of the most common concerns I hear from brands, and rightfully so. Many brands want to ensure that their billing is accurate, transparent, and auditable. They want confidence that they're being charged exactly what they expect. No hidden fees, no surprises. At ShipMonk, we take that very seriously. We provide our merchants with detailed invoices that offer both high-level and line item visibility into their spend over a specific billing period. Here's how it works. Your invoice starts with a summary showing your total spend for that billing cycle. As you scroll down, it breaks out every charge into clear categorized sections so you can easily drill down into specific areas. You'll find a shipping report also delivered in Excel format that includes shipping costs, pick and pack fees, packaging charges, number of products shipped per order, and this report is designed to be pivot table friendly, making it easy to audit and reconcile against your own internal data. Beyond shipping, you'll also see storage fees, showing what locations you're occupying and for how long. And then we'll get into our other charges. All of our other charges are hyperlinked, so if you ever need to trace a specific line item back, it's just one click away. In addition to the detailed invoices, we also provide access to a billing dashboard. This dashboard gives you trend visibility over the past 12 months, helping you quickly identify if your billing is in line with expectations, or if anything looks off, whether it's unexpectedly high or unusually low. In short, everything is built to give you full transparency, auditability, and confidence in the accuracy of your bill. Let's talk about one of the most important areas of any business, reporting. When it comes to reporting, the key is ensuring our merchants have clear visibility into performance across all critical areas. While we've touched on some reporting already, like what you saw while navigating the order and inventory management systems, we also have a dedicated section in the platform for reporting. One of the most commonly utilized reports by our brands is the Shipping Fulfillment Report. This provides at least a 7-day snapshot of your business covering key metrics, cost, and ShipMonk's performance during that period. Here's what that includes: a shipping total overview, shipped orders by warehouse location, the shipping methods used during that time frame, and most importantly, key SLAs, such as fulfillment SLAs, order accuracy SLAs, and carrier SLAs. Another favorite report among merchants is the Shipped Inventory Report. This one is especially valuable because it accounts for the carrying cost of specific SKUs, the estimated profit from your sales channels, And this gives you a clear picture of SKU level performance, so you can double down on high-performing products and identify aging inventory that's costing you more than it's worth in storage. Beyond that, you'll also have access to bundle product mapping, order line and receiving data, and nearly any type of report you might need. We also work with tools like Snowflake and other BI platforms if your team uses alternative methods for ingesting or manipulating data. We can support that via our open APIs, making integration seamless. But here's the biggest takeaway. Every brand looks at data differently. Every brand has its own definition of what metrics matter most. And we want to ensure we're aligned with you on what those metrics are. If our standard reporting doesn't provide exactly what you need, our team can custom create reports directly in your platform tailored to your business. At the end of the day, it's all about making sure we're looking at the same numbers, tracking what matters most to your success, and providing you the data to take action. Now let's talk about Monk Protect, ShipMonk's package protection solution that some of our brands choose to enable. Monk Protect helps automate the claims process, allowing your customers to file claims directly, without your team needing to manually step in or go into our system. It's a great way to reduce the workload on your side while still delivering a smooth experience for your customers. Essentially, it helps offset most delivery issues, whether that's lost, stolen, or damaged orders. When a customer needs to file a claim, they'll go back to their order confirmation email and click the Monk Protect link. From there, they'll walk through a guided flow that asks for a few details depending on the issue, like a photo if the item was damaged. Once submitted, our team will review and either approve or deny the claim. Monk Protect not only automates the process, it also helps protect and recover revenue. If a claim is approved, we'll credit you for the pick, pack, and ship cost, as well as either the full order value or replacement cost, depending on how you choose to configure. I think one of the coolest features about ShipMonk is action required. To be honest though, when something is in action required, brands typically aren't happy, and neither are we. Because what action required means is there's action required from you to get these orders out of our facility. So what action required does is it acts like a safety net to stop a lot of the common problems in shipping before they actually happen. For example, in action required, you'll see address issue. We reference all orders against the USPS and UPS residential database. So if it's not a valid address, we're going to hold that order until your team goes in and either corrects it or submits it and verifies that's the actual address. Invalid item mapping. So if somebody orders a test SKU off the website that's not mapped to anything in our system, it's going to stop here in action required. Invalid shipping mapping. If somebody from Guam or an APO, FPO address orders it and we don't have that mapped, that's where invalid shipping mapping can come into play. Invalid customs value and missing HS codes for those international shipments. And then you'll see on the wholesale side of the business, freight details, freight information, and choosing a freight quote if it's a larger order. That's what's great about action required, is it highlights those issues that are happening before they actually do, or it's too late, and it gives your team a chance to go in there. So I would say try to get this number as close to zero as possible every single day. A lot of the features and reporting we have in our software has come from recommendations from the merchants we work with. And one of the coolest features about ShipMonk is an action required. That is our at-risk feature. So what we did is we spoke to a lot of the brands we work with and we asked, what's the biggest issue you guys have? And we found out that 70% of customer service requests were Wismo. Where is my order at? What we did to combat this is built out the at-risk feature. So what at-risk does is if something does not scan within its estimated timeline, whether it's to the sort facility or whether it's to the customer's doorstep, if something does not scan within its estimated timeline, whether it's to the sort facility or whether to delivery from your customer's home, whether it's to the sort facility or whether it's to, so what at-risk does, if something does not scan within the estimated timeline, whether it's at the sorting facility or whether it's delivery to your customer's home, then that order will automatically populate in at-risk, giving brands a chance to be proactive if they choose. Instead of just waiting for the angry customer to reach out, de-escalating it and following suit, this gives merchants a chance to reach out should you choose and say, hey, please give us another day or two before we reship you something, and help play a little offense, building the relationship that you have with those customers you've worked so hard to acquire. One of the big strengths of ShipMonk is our integrations and APIs. We offer a wide range of native integrations with platforms like Shopify, BigCommerce, Orderful, Fulfill.io, and even more technical setups with EDI. But if your team needs to build a custom connection, whether that's into your ERP, OMS, or any other platform, we've got you covered there too. Our public API documentation gives your developers full visibility into what's available and how to work with it, so you can determine early on if it fits your needs. We know that your tech stack has to meet your standards. That's why we encourage getting into those API conversations early before implementation, so we can align on any requirements or functionalities needed to support your workflows. I always say you're only as good as your systems allow you to be. That's why making sure we're aligned on integrations from the start is such an important part of conversations. Another really common phrase when it comes to fulfillment and logistics is, it's not what if something goes wrong, but when. One of the things that we're really big on here at ShipMonk is, even though we have the enterprise scale, we want to ensure that all of the brands we work with have mom and pop support, getting the personalized care they need to be successful. And we want to make sure they feel heard and show you that we have the muscle to go out there and do something about it. The way that we do that is we have our happiness engineers located on site at each one of our locations. So when those problems go wrong, they can get back there and problem solve quickly. Whether it's a product issue or even a VIP order that needs to get shipped out ASAP, we're set up to solve those issues as fast as possible. In addition to our happiness engineers, our brands will also have a merchant success manager to help focus on the business side of the relationship. Brands will typically meet with their merchant success manager on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly cadence to ensure that we're moving forward, holding each other accountable, and having that true partner mentality in mind. Merchant first isn't just something that's a core value. It's in our DNA and how we go about doing business with our partners every single day here at ShipMonk. When it comes to locations of our network, ShipMonk has strategically positioned our 11 fulfillment centers across the US and internationally to make sure your customers receive their orders quickly and cost effectively. We've got facilities in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we were founded and are currently corporate headquartered, along with Pittston, Pennsylvania, Louisville, Kentucky, Fort Worth, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, and San Bernardino, California. Internationally, we also operate in Mexico, Canada, the UK, and the EU to help brands expand globally without the added complexity. At ShipMonk, we operate 7 days a week. That means no more Monday backlogs or waiting 2 days just to start processing weekend orders. We're actively fulfilling every day with late cutoff times to help maximize your shipping windows and speed up delivery. But just as important as where we operate is how we operate. Across all 11 buildings, we use one unified WMS system, the same tech, the same processes, and the same standards. This allows us to drive consistent throughput, industry-leading SLAs, and keep performance scalable as you grow. Whether it's inbound receiving or outbound fulfillment, our WMS gives you the visibility and structure to move fast while staying reliable. That consistency is a huge differentiator because whether you're fulfilling from one location or 5, the experience stays the same. Fast, efficient, and under your control. All right, everyone, that wraps up our quick tour of the platform and just some of the solutions that we offer. Hopefully after this video, you have a good sense of how we're more than just a 3PL and how we're truly invested in your growth. From our lightning fast click to delivery and real-time inventory management to our transparent pricing and dedicated support, we're here to handle the complexities of fulfillment so you can concentrate on scaling your business. If you're ready to learn more and see how ShipMonk can be a game changer for your brand, we've got a fantastic team of fulfillment consultants eager to connect with you and discuss your specific needs. Visit us online today at shipmonk.com to get started. We look forward to hearing from you and helping your business reach new heights.